I don't have time for meditation, or my mind doesn't allow me to meditate. How many times have you said that?
Lou, me, I've said it for years, usually while doom scrolling YouTube shorts at 11 p.m., unable to sleep because my brain wouldn't shut off.
We have time for anxiety, but we don't, we not for the thing that will help us with anxiety. It makes no sense.
And here's the thing, I've also said for a majority of my life, like I'm not the meditation type. I can't sit still for 5 minutes with my ADD self. And I've been telling myself this because, you know what, Lou, like the alternative, admitting that I needed help felt harder than just staying burned out.
And today we're talking to someone who helped Ashok establish meditation as part of his identity. Selva Kumaraswamy is Ashok's Art of Living meditation teacher, but he's also a 3-time startup founder.
And Selva's going to tell us like why we are both full of prayer. This is 2 coffees in. Selva is a 2-decade plus meditation practitioner, meditation coach. If you're new here, welcome to 2 Coffees in, the podcast for people who have done all the right things in their careers and still wondering why they feel like they're barely holding it together.
Yeah, specifically for people who ever said I don't have time or patience for meditation.
And that was me, loudly and repeatedly for more than 40 years.
So Selva, welcome, and please challenge that excuse for us.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me on this show. What is meditation? What is the simplest definition of meditation? The simplest answer for meditation is the art of doing nothing. For a lot of people, doing nothing is the most difficult thing to do. Have you noticed that our mind doesn't stop? We are used to be in activity all the time, but when it comes to pausing for a moment, it becomes such a difficult task. So meditation is just being with yourself and doing nothing. It is not concentration. A lot of people think meditation is concentration. It is not concentration. You're just being with yourself. It's very simple. We make it too complicated by having our own notion of having meditation practice to be like such a profound thing, but very difficult thing to do. It's very profound, but it's not very difficult to do. It's very easy. Anybody can pick up meditation.
If somebody tells you I don't have time for meditation, what are they actually saying?
Well, let me put it this way. I have heard a lot of people giving excuses. I am too busy in my life. I have a lot of important things to do, and this is not my time to meditate. The busyness and meditation are not some opposite things. If you are busier, actually meditation makes it more sense, right? It complements busyness. If you are retired and if you have nothing to do, why would you meditate? Why you need that energy? It makes more sense to meditate if you are very busy.
Yeah. So what you're saying is like, meditation is for people who are working multiple jobs or 50 plus hour work weeks, raising young kids, traveling constantly for work. So meditation is for them.
Meditation is for very busy people. That's exactly what it is. I mean, it gives that energy, that calmness, that pause that is required in everyday life. If you can't make a pause in your busy schedule, then you won't be able to think clearly. Your decisions are always not very clear. Clarity comes when you take a pause, when you reflect what you're doing. So if your life is so busy, your schedule is so tight, then you need that moment of pause to think clearly. Meditation gives that clarity.
Yeah, and when I first tried meditation at your workshop, like yes, this is actually what happened, right? Like I sat down, closed my eyes, like within 30 seconds of closing my eyes, my brain was just screaming at me saying, okay, email, project deadline, did you get this done? Did you respond to that Slack message? Or your kid's teacher emailed you, you're wasting time sitting here, you should be more productive.
That's very natural. See, if you're not used to sitting for a few minutes and closing eyes and retrospecting, it might sound counterproductive to sit ideally and do nothing, right? It's become a challenge because your mind is racing so fast. It doesn't allow you to sit quietly. So typically when beginners start, this is very common. When I started meditation like 23 years back when I graduated from college, I had a very busy life, supposedly at that time. I was very active in sports and whatnot. And so, I couldn't sit quietly for even a couple of minutes. So it was difficult, but it's a practice. It's like music, right? If you pick up guitar or any music instrument or singing, it takes practice. Meditation is a practice. You become a practitioner of meditation, and the more you do, it becomes very natural.
So I'm assuming that's what you would tell somebody who pushes through, right? That uncomfortable first few experiences, someone who quits, that it takes practice, do it again.
Yeah, it'll take some practice to be. See, meditation is an effortless process. Like I said, it's an art of doing nothing. It's an effortless process, but you need to put some effort to begin with, right? You need to put the effort, that discipline to sit quietly for a few minutes. Once you put that effort, then everything becomes effortless. It's like anything, right? That your mind doesn't understand the language of effort. Your body understands the language of effort. You work out, you build muscles. You cannot exercise your mind. Yeah, mind understands the language of silence. So you need to do some activity. If you are restless, say for example, you have a busy day and you are restless, then you have to do some stretches to ease your body. Once you ease your body, that is the effort part, right? Then you sit there, you can do some yoga stretches, or you can walk for some time. And after that, when you sit, your mind naturally calms down. If you're in the middle of activity, you are like drinking coffee, you are middle of activity, you're so active, and then it is difficult. You cannot just sit and start meditating unless you practice for a long time. If you practice for a long time, I can sit in an airport in the middle of a busy crowd. I can sit and meditate, but that takes time.
Oh, wow. I know I quit immediately, but Ashok, you kept going, right? So when did you first know that it was actually doing something?
Lou, it's not gonna be like, Einstein theory of relativity type of situation. It's actually one of those things where, so consistency is the key to getting both your brain and breath under control. Right. So, yeah, so the thing is, it wasn't dramatic. It's gonna kick in. I realized more and more I was like sleeping in peace through the night. And when I also started realizing like I wasn't catastrophizing like every email, assuming negative thoughts or intents from everyone around me. Some of those changes, they sound so small, but it was huge.
That is amazing to me. Selva, what's happening? Why the sitting quietly, can change how someone reads, their emails or the people around them.
We have a tendency to be instigated or influenced by people, situation around us, right? A bad email or somebody's comment can push our buttons, right? So and then sometimes we get mad at things, we lose our focus, and we go on for days, sometimes in months, without realizing how much time we wasted thinking about something that somebody told you.
Yes.
Right?
And yeah, there was this saying, right? I think anger is a punishment that we give to ourselves for someone else's mistake.
Yeah. Now, why this happens? Because we are not aware of the tendencies of our mind. The mind has a tendency to cling on to negativity. That's the nature of mind. There's nothing you can change about it, right? That's the tendency of the mind. Now, it clings on negativity very easily. So now, the art of meditation, once you start practicing, you become more aware of your mind, yourself. So if you're brooding on negativity, your awareness can bring you out of that. Otherwise, without awareness, we go on in the negativity for so long, then we get so tired about it. At some point, say, okay, there is no, then sometimes you will give up, right? You will give up naturally, but why waste so much time? Meditation, one of the main things meditation gives you is the awareness, the knowledge that it is no point wasting our energy and effort on things that's not useful.
I love what you're saying. I think it's very key. And meditation is not going to make everything perfect. It's definitely going to help you get a balance out, the imperfect parts of our lives.
But you very well said, balance is the most important part. The balance comes, we all have the tendency of balance, right? It is just that we are not sometimes aware of it. You don't need to search for balance outside. It's always there. You have to just search for that balance. Meditation is a tool to get that balance in your life.
How do we make this actionable for everyone feeling stressed out there? Like, what is the absolute minimum viable practice?
So you said stress, right? So what is stress? Let me start with what is meditation. What is stress? The simplest definition of stress is when the demand is more than your capacity. Everyday life demands so much out of you, but you have very limited capacity. There is nothing you can do about your capacity, right? What is the simplest definition of stress? When the demand is more than your capacity, right? Everyday life demands certain things from you. You have certain responsibility in your family, you have certain responsibility as a professional. That cannot be changed. You got to do whatever you have to do. But your energy level has a limitation. You can only do certain things at certain time, right? Now, your demand cannot be changed because that is set, but you have the ability to change your capacity. Meditation increases that capacity. Because if there is a balance between what you can do and what your capacity allows, then there is no stress. You won't get stressed watching a sunset or spending time with your loved ones or taking an evening walk. You don't get stressed. But at the same time, if you have to do some work, you get stressed. So the key is, how do you balance this? How do you balance the level of energy inside your body so that you are working at your max capacity all the time? If you are able to always operate at your maximum capacity, there is no stress. There is no stress. So meditation helps you bring that capacity, your capacity level high by just pausing, just retrospecting, just relaxing. You increase your capacity. I'll tell you a different example. 20 minutes of meditation on an everyday basis would add like close to 2 hours more in your schedule. It works like magic. You will feel like you have enough time to do things.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally attest to that. Like, ever since I started making meditation like the first activity in my day, even if my schedule was really messed up the previous night when I'm planning for the next day, after meditation, it's as if when you talk about a river water that is muddy, meditation kind of puts all the different sediments in its different layers so you can actually see through what you need to do. Whereas before, you would kind of try to swim through the muddy water, and that actually takes more effort.
Stress comes also from worrying about things that haven't happened yet. Does meditation help you to live in the now?
Great question. So again, we're going back to the tendencies of the mind. One of the tendencies of the mind is clinging to negativity, right? Another tendency of the mind is it always oscillates between the past and the future. You are either worrying about what will happen tomorrow, or you are angry about something that happened in the past. So mind constantly oscillates between the past and the future. When the mind oscillates between the past and future, you get stressed because it takes a lot of energy out of it. Your mind takes a lot of energy out of it. So keeping the mind in the present moment will help you reduce that stress. Then how do you keep your mind in the present moment? Then the next question comes. So breathing exercise and meditation go hand in hand. They are complementary skills, right? When you do some breathing exercise, because you always breathe in the present moment. You cannot breathe in the past or in the future. So when you take the attention to your breath, your mind naturally comes to the present moment. It works like magic. anytime you are thinking about something that has happened in the past, or you're anxious about the future, and you feel that it is taking energy out from your system, you pay attention to your breath. It naturally brings your attention to the present moment. Then at that moment, you are less stressed, you're less tensed.
That helps with your health too, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you have high blood pressure, or if you are going through any such medical issues, it naturally helps. Yeah, I've taught courses to patients who have had high blood pressure, and they have noticed a very good result after meditating and doing breathing exercises.
But what do you kind of like tell people who use delay tactics? Like, I'll do this once Halloween is over, once this project is done. Does it happen? I mean, is this a lie that we are telling ourselves that there will be a perfect time?
Yeah, see, again, it's a human tendency, right? So if you see, we always like to postpone our happiness. I'll be happy if I find the perfect partner. I'll be happy if I find the perfect job. I'll be happy if these things happen, right? That's natural, right? So we always tend to postpone our happiness. Similarly, we tend to postpone such practices. This is not the right time. When things get bad, I'd probably do something. I'm doing everything fine now. That's okay. It's not like you have to face difficulty in life to pick up meditation. That's not necessarily true, right? You can, even if you're happy, you can be more happy by doing meditation. Right?
Yeah, like even my youngest daughter, like she attended some of the kids meditation programs. Like, we've seen a huge difference in how much she's able to focus and remember things, right? I mean, at that age, like at 9 years old, you're not like expecting them to have a lot of stress, but even there, like you were saying, their capacity improves.
Yeah, meditation in kids, what I've noticed is their intuitive ability increases tremendously when they pick up meditation at a very young age. We have programs where I have seen kids do like magic, literally magic, when their intuitive abilities goes high, right? They'll be able to think through problems that even adults cannot think through. Naturally intuitive ability increases even in adults when you pick up meditation. What they call is your ability to think through your guts will increase, right? Then you will be able to make better choices without actually having too much data. Sometimes we are used to making decisions based on data, but intuitive decisions are always, I would say, produce better results.
Yes. Yeah. And intuitive decisions are actually based on inspiration, not desperation.
Yeah. Very true.
Selva, if someone is listening right now, committed to try this for 1 month, what should they expect? Tell us a little bit about the journey.
So the journey of meditation, like I said, you have to put some effort to sit. That's a commitment you got to make. I would say, like any practice, I mean, you take a commitment of minimum 45 days. There is a science behind that. If you practice anything for 45 days, it becomes part of your life, right? Even when we were kids, brushing was not something natural, right? Your mom and dad need to make you brush, right? It took some time for you to brush every day in the morning, right? Similarly, any practice, right? You have to take a commitment that I'm going to do it for 45 days, come what may. If you take that commitment for yourself, it becomes part of your life, and you will see the difference. See, meditation is an experiential, practice. You will experience a profound difference that only you can explain. My experience is different from your experience, right? Depends on what I'm going through in my life, based on my mental, physical issues. I will have different outcome than what you will have. Generally speaking, you will have a lot of clarity. You will be able to, I would say, think through problems, in a very calm manner, right? Typically, we are, like I said, a lot of events, external events, push our buttons, right? When you practice meditation, you will be button proof. Yeah, you will have that microsecond of clarity before you lose your, control. Like most of the time we say, oh, we read books where it says, how to be calm in situation, but we don't have a tool. We don't have a real tangible tool to practice that. Meditation gives that second of clarity before you lose your emotions, before you get angry at something, before you lose focus on something. It gives that clarity.
And that's kind of like what Art of Living programs are actually all about, which give people the tools. And he's a volunteer, and he doesn't get paid or anything like that. But I've seen you donate your time and energy and effort into making meditation, one more person to the 2.5 billion people in the earth who are already meditating. So where would people go to learn more about the
Great question. I'm gonna sign up, Selva.
Yes, and or connect with you directly. Where should they go? Obviously, we'll also put this in the podcast notes as well, but please share.
Yeah, so Art of Living Austin chapter. So Art of Living is a foundation which has chapters all over the country and all over the world. Austin chapter is very vibrant. We have close to 80 instructors who can teach meditation. We have meditation classes pretty much on an everyday basis. We have classes over the weekend. We have classes during week. So there are a lot of teachers who can help teach you. It's always best to learn from somebody who has practiced it. This is not a skill you can learn through a YouTube video or a book. It's very difficult, right? It's a life skill. It's always best to learn from a coach, from somebody who has done it. So you can go to artoflivingaustin.org or artofliving.org. You will see the courses that is listed in the city, and you can pick a time that works for you and then see it for yourself. Just 3-day commitment, 3 hours for 3 days over a weekend. You'll be an expert, no time.
Selva, thank you so much, not just for the conversation, but for your services and leadership to the community.
Folks, if this episode hits home, especially if you recognize yourself in the category, I don't have time, my mind doesn't work that way, this way, share it with somebody. We all know someone who is running on empty and using busy as an armor.
And please share this episode with them. Commit to doing this together. When you do it with somebody else. Selva has this every Sunday morning thing, and I do my best to attend it. And accountability makes everything easier. And accountability also leads to consistency.
I love that. Next time on 2 Coffees In, we're talking about future of work with our ex-leader Ravi Manikulandan.
Until then, stop giving excuses about not having time.
Let's sit still for 10 minutes. Take a class in the art of living. I know I will.
2 Coffees In.
2 Coffees In.